Hello guys and welcome to another video. They say that with great power there must also come great responsibility. And this is a lesson that I learned today when I found out that you can ask ChatGPT to write fanfiction about your favorite characters and to rewrite the ending to your least favorite books. I guess you can imagine what we're gonna do today. Honestly, this video stemmed from the idea of me using AI to generate a video idea for me. I typed in write an unclaimed demigod video, but it doesn't know who I am, so the next thing that popped into my mind was write a Percabeth fanfic. And write a Percabeth fanfic it did. So let's look at what it created. I don't believe that a robot will ever be able to replace a human being, especially in like a creative field, and I don't think that it should, especially if it's stealing ideas from already existing human artists. With that being said, let's look at this fanfic. I don't know what to expect. To tell you the truth, I went a little bit mad with power as I generated new ideas, but let's start with Percabeth's fanfic titled Percabeth Eternal Bond. The title is Navigating the Depths of Love, Chapter 1, Unexpected Encounters. Annabeth Chase stood at the edge of the Camp Half-Blood's lake, her gaze fixed on the shimmering water. It had been a challenging summer, with new monsters cropping up and quests to be completed. She longed for a moment of tranquility amidst the chaos. Unbeknownst to her, Percy Jackson was making his way toward the lake, his sea green eyes scanning the camp for a familiar face. They hadn't seen each other for weeks. Ooh, lore, why hadn't they seen each other for weeks? And his heart ached for Annabeth's presence. He missed their late night conversations, her laughter, and the way her gray eyes sparkled when she was excited. As Percy approached the lake, his heart skipped a beat as he spotted Annabeth. Her blonde hair fell in cascades around her shoulders. Ooh, so she let her hair down for this one? Love to see it. And her expression hinted at a mix of determination and wariness. I must admit, this AI took the writing a fan fiction prompt and it really ran with it, because this does read more like fan fiction than Rick Riordan. Good going, I guess? He couldn't help but be captivated by her. Hey, Percy called out, breaking Annabeth out of her thoughts. She turned around, a smile lighting up her face when she saw Percy standing there. Hey, seaweed brain, she replied, her voice filled with affection. I didn't expect to see you here. I couldn't stay away, Percy confessed, closing the distance between them. I missed you. Are they going to give us context as to why they haven't seen each other in weeks? Has Percy not been around in Camp Half-Blood? Has he been on a quest? Annabeth's cheeks flushed pink, and she couldn't help but feel a wave of warmth spread through her at Percy's words. I missed you too, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. I missed you too. They stood there, their gazes locked, feeling the electricity in the air. Time seemed to stand still as they were drawn together by an invisible force. In that moment, everything else faded away, leaving only the two of them. Okay, what happened? Did they kiss? Did Annabeth push Percy into the lake? Did they both go in voluntarily? No, I guess this ... Let's move on to chapter 2 and the last chapter, so short and to the point. Days turned into weeks and Percy and Annabeth found solace in each other's company. They spent hours exploring the camp, battling monsters side by side and sharing quiet moments at the lake. So I'm guessing that means the monsters in the forest. One evening, as the sun set, they found themselves on Half-Blood Hill, sitting together and watching the colors of the sky change. Quite romantic. Annabeth rested her head on Percy's shoulder, feeling a sense of belonging she had never experienced before. Okay, that's quite sweet. You know, Percy said, breaking the comfortable silence, I can't imagine my life without you. Annabeth, you're my anchor, my strength. Okay, it's a bit cheesy, and especially out of the blue, but I'll take it. Annabeth looked up at him, her eyes filled with love and adoration. And you're mine, Percy. I don't know what I'd do without you. You make everything better, even in the darkest times. This seems so random. They're just sitting there. And it's kind of weird that Percy was like, I can't imagine my life without you. You're my everything. And then Annabeth's like, yeah, but you are mine. Like, you are mine. Percy intertwined his fingers with Annabeth's, their hands fitting together perfectly. We've been through so much together, he murmured, his voice filled with emotion. And I want to keep facing whatever challenges come our way as long as I have you by my side. Is this a proposal? Tears welled up in Annabeth's eyes and she leaned in, pressing her lips gently against Percy's. Oh. The kiss was sweet and tender, filled with all the unspoken words and emotions they couldn't articulate. In that moment, they knew their love was stronger than anything the world could throw at them. Okay, I mean, the world's already thrown a lot at them. I wonder when this is in the timeline. Is this after Tartarus and Trials of Apollo? And you know what happening to you know who happening in Trials of Apollo? because that's a lot to throw at a couple of teenagers. Chapter 3, a new adventure. So there was another chapter, but it's like this long. A new adventure. As the years went by, Percy and Annabeth's love only grew stronger. They faced countless battles, saved the world together, and remained each other's constant support. One evening, under the starlit sky, Percy got down on one knee, holding a small velvet box in his hand. Annabeth's breath caught in her throat as she realized what was happening. Annabeth chased. Percy began. Then, oh my god, I have to click continue generating because it stops here. Okay, let's go. His voice filled with love and determination. You are my everything. Will you marry me? Tears of joy streamed down Annabeth's face as she nodded vigorously. Yes, Percy Jackson. 1,000 times yes. The camp erupted in cheer. Wait, why are they still at camp? A couple of years later, they're like adults now and they're still at camp. I would hope they didn't need it anymore. They're just like helping the younger campers. This fanfic gives zero context for anything. Okay, so the camp erupted in cheers as Percy slipped the ring onto Annabeth's finger. Their friends surrounded them, offering congratulations and heartfelt embraces. Honestly, I don't think Percy and Annabeth would be the kind of couple to propose in public. I think Percy would do it in like a very important place to them, but just have it be just them. You know, it's special to them. It doesn't have to be in a public situation. Even though the first time Percy confessed, it was in public, but he didn't know half camp, half blood was watching them from the shadows. But in that moment, Percy and Annabeth only had eyes for each other, knowing that their love had triumphed over every obstacle. And so, as the sun set on that unforgettable evening, Percy and Annabeth looked toward the future, ready to embark on a new adventure together, hand in hand as they navigated the depths of love. Wow, that was cute and also very, very like neutral, impartial, surface level. I have to say, the fanfics that I've read for this channel aren't very good, but at least it gets into the nitty-gritty. Juniper, truth or dare? Juniper looked at me with a hateful look in her eyes. Dare. Juniper finally let go of me. My skin was red as Rachel's hair and it ached so much. I threw myself to the lake and the pain was unbearable. Suddenly, the most unexpected thing happened. Nico stood up, sat on Will's left side and gave him a very quick kiss. You are going to remember how to kiss, right? My seaweed brain. Percy starts reading the Bible and becomes Christian. How do the rest of the demigods and gods react? Percy is Christian, no bad language, and the gods are demons and bad angels. Dear Annabeth, I'm sorry, no matter how much it hurts, I need to break up with you. I started reading the Bible, and I'm thinking of breaking off all my contacts with you guys. Don't be mad, I just need time to sort myself out. Thank you, maybe we'll be able to get back together once I do. I'm a Christian now, and I'm proud to say so. She shouted happily, it stopped attacking! And I'm Christian now too, because of your previous too stubborn personality. The gods want you before them soon, but the demigods will get you. The hunters might. I'm putting the hunters on them, choosing one god over the Greek gods. Talia grabbed Estelle, who walked into the room and put the knife at her throat. Where is Percy? She growled. Jesus smiled. But Jesus soon destroyed her. I can't believe you, Percy. You were my role model. But now I hate you. I really hate you. Nico screamed and ran out with Will hot at his heels. I looked at Percy, concerned. I think this might be a bit homophobic. Calypso was a devil too. Oh, of course. I heard Nico and Will have gone to prison. Oh my god. Us demigods and the gods were lined up in a line to get into the seating area of the arena Percy was singing in. We had to calm Talia down because it was always her dream to go meet him. A brick came out of seemingly nowhere, smacking me right in the face, making it look like I was kissing it. I know we have only known each other for a year and a couple months, but I know that I would never replace Ryan, but I will give it all I got. So I know I can't replace him, but I'm still going to try. Annabeth, will you be my girlfriend? I saw her start to tear up and then she ran on stage and kissed me. Happy New Year, Thalia. Happy New Year, Percy. Should we eat cake now? Yes. Hey, Percy? I nodded. You have a really high temperature. We should ask your father if he has seen anything like this. I nodded and then he brought out a drachma and put water on it and then said, Poseidon, it showed a frame of my father standing there, and when he looked at us, he asked, Percy, I think you have the rare disease only we can get. This is just like, and they lived happily ever after, and they saw each other one day, and they kissed. Like, no description just whatsoever, just like fact, 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 links between them. No emotions. So let's see. I also asked it to generate a breaking up chapter. So let's watch Percabeth break up in real time. Okay, cracks in love. And since this one is a breakup chapter, it's called Fragments of the Sea. Chapter 1, Cracks in the Foundation. Let's see how and why Percabeth breaks up. Percy Jackson paced back and forth in his cabin at Camp Half-Blood, his mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. It had been a month since the word with Gaia, and life had settled onto an uneasy routine. But something was off, something that had been gnawing at him for weeks. Hey, so this is interesting because this is before Trials of Apollo. Canonically, Percabeth is still together. I think a lot of fanfictions like this exist. After the event of Blood of Olympus and obviously after House of Hades, something goes wrong and they break up. He couldn't shake the feeling that he and Annabeth were drifting apart. The relationship had always been rock solid, weathering countless battles and challenges. They had been through so much together, but lately it seemed like their connection was faltering. The final straw had been an argument they'd had the previous night. Okay, juicy. It had started over something trivial, but the tension between them had escalated quickly, words spoken in anger that neither could take back. It had ended with Annabeth storming off, leaving Percy alone with his thoughts. Okay, once again, I was looking for the tea. What was the argument? What was the trivial thing about it? And then what words were said that couldn't be taken back? Give them to me. He thought back to when they first started dating, the magic of their love, and the unbreakable bond that they had forged. But now, Percy couldn't help but wonder if they were holding on to something that was slowly slipping away. Chapter 2, Fractured Hearts. The days that followed were filled with a heavy silence. Percy and Annabeth barely spoke to each other. Their once vibrant conversations replaced by awkward exchanges and forced smiles. It was tearing Percy apart. One afternoon, while sitting by the beach, Percy watched as Annabeth approached, her face etched with sadness. She sat beside him, the weight of their crumbling relationship hanging heavy in the air. They're not even gonna try to fix this, are they? It makes sense because I did ask the AI to write a breakup fanfic, but it's just not very canon to them. Percy, she began softly, voice choked with emotion. We need to talk. Percy's heart sank, and he turned to face her, his eyes pleading for answers. Annabeth, I don't want to lose you, but it feels like we're drifting apart. What happened to us? That's what I want to know as well. Please tell us. Give us a little bit of context. Just a little. Tears welled up in Annabeth's eyes, mirroring Percy's pain. I don't know, Percy. I thought we were invincible, that nothing could come between us. But lately, it feels like we're more friends than lovers. That makes sense. Honestly, that makes sense. I can see that. Percy took a deep breath, fighting back his own tears. Do you think we can fix it? Find our way back to what we had? Annabeth shook her head slowly, her voice barely above a whisper. Okay, this AI likes that expression. I don't know if we can, Percy. Maybe we've grown in different directions. We've changed so much since we first met. Chapter 3. Shattered dreams. Days turned into weeks and Percy and Annabeth tried to salvage what was left of their relationship. Okay, so they do try to salvage it. That's more like them. They went on long walks hoping that the familiar paths of Camp Half-Blood would rekindle the flames that had once burned so brightly. They talked, trying to bridge the growing gap between them. But with each passing day, it became clear that their efforts were in vain. Finally, one evening, Percy and Annabeth found themselves sitting by the lake, hands intertwined. The sunset painted the skies with hues of orange and pink, a bittersweet backdrop to their conversation. Percy, Annabeth said softly, tears streaming down her cheeks. I think we need to let each other go. We're hurting each other by trying to hold on to something that's slipping away. Percy's heart shattered into a million pieces, but he knew Annabeth was right. He nodded, the weight of their decision settling heavily upon his shoulders. I love you, Annabeth, and I always will, but maybe it's time we find our own paths. They shared one final, lingering embrace, their tears mingling with salty water of the lake, and then with a heavy heart, they let go. Epilogue. Echoes of the past. Years passed, and Percy and Annabeth went their separate ways. They carved out lives filled with new adventures, new friendships, and new loves. But their memories of their time together remained etched in their hearts. Occasionally, their paths would cross. They would exchange a smile, a nod of acknowledgement. It was a silent reminder of what they had once shared, a reminder of the love that had shaped them into who they had become. And as they moved forward, their lives intertwined, yet separate. They knew that the story of Percabeth would forever be a chapter in their lives. Please don't call yourself Percabeth. That's not canon. I mean, Nico calling them Percabeth might be canon, but not themselves. Never themselves. A chapter that had brought them joy, pain and growth, but ultimately a chapter that had taught them the bittersweet truth that even the greatest love stories can sometimes come to an end. Besides the depressing ending, it's all so impersonal. It's missing the context. There's no context here. You could change the setting, not have it at Camp Half-Blood, change the names, not have it be Percy and Annabeth, and this could literally be any other couple in the universe. Have the setting be Hogwarts. Have the couple be Ron and Hermione. It's the same thing. As long as it applies to the trope friends to lovers, it's the same thing. There's nothing that sets them apart from any other couple. We don't get any context as to why they're drifting apart. We don't get any mention to being in Tartarus, to why the trauma of being a child at war had anything to do with breaking up, why maybe they broke up because their relationship kind of stemmed from trauma bonding. No, we don't get any of that. I think that while this is better written than most of the Wattpad fanfics I've read, this doesn't hold a candle to basically any of the archive of our own fanfics that I've read. Don't be desperate. If you want good fanfic, good Percabeth fanfics, just go on archive of our own. And if you want to laugh at fanfics, just go on Wattpad. But this is just very impersonal, and honestly, I'm glad to see it. I'm glad that it's not going to be able to replace actual fanfiction written by crazy, angst-driven teenagers. That's all I needed to know. That is the end for this video, but don't worry, I'm going to do more of these in the future. I have so many ideas of what to do. I've already asked the AI to generate some juicy things, like maybe an alternate ending to Blood of Olympus, or the characters reacting to Percy's death, or even the beginning to book 6 in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So please leave a like if you like this video, and if you want to watch more videos like this in the future, comment down below what's a prompt that you would want to see an AI generate, and subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell button so you get notifications every time I post a new video. I post videos just like this every single Friday, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye!